What's going on, weirdos? Welcome back to RetroSupply, the only place on YouTube where making your art look old and crusty is a sign of success. Do you want to take that squeaky clean digital masterpiece you spent hours perfecting and then just absolutely trash it until it looks like it's been hiding in your weird uncle's basement? Good, you're in the right place. Today I'm going to show you exactly how I scratch, scuff, and misprint my art until it screams, I survived 3 garage sales and a flood. So let's ruin our perfect lines together. Step 1. Preparation. Before we do anything dumb, let's do something smart. Prep our dang files. Separate your inks, colors, and text onto their own layers. Don't be that chaotic little gremlin with everything on one flattened mess. Label those bad boys properly. Group them up. Add cute emojis. Actually, don't do that. If you do, I'll judge you. Personally, I like to pretend I'm a professional adult with my tidy little layers before I spend hours drawing spooky monsters. But hey, that's just me. This step is boring, I know. But when you're deep into Texture Town, you don't want to play a guessing game of where's Waldo, but Waldo is your line art. Respect yourself, homie. Step 2. Paper textures. Here's the biggest no-brainer, and yet somehow 99% of you clowns skip it. Paper textures. If you're making retro art on a squeaky clean, pure white digital canvas, it's not retro, it's just naked and sad like me on my first birthday. You need that crusty and perfect base. Drop in a good paper texture first thing. RetroSupply has so many dope options. Phantom paper, Paperboy, man, even ColorLab comes with a few bundled in. Open whatever texture you're feeling in your files, tap on it, and let Procreate work its dark magic. From there, you can either draw directly on this canvas, or copy and paste the texture layers to your original work. Just be sure to match each one's blending mode and opacity settings. Once you do that, boom, your clean digital sheet is now a filthy vintage rag, and you're halfway to fake authenticity. And if that sounds like too much work, cool, stay lazy, king. RetroSupply's new Funny Papers pack does all the work for you. Just hit import file, pick your favorite, slap it on, and change the blending mode to multiply. And suddenly your art looks 100 times better. Step 3. Vintage coloring. Your colors are up on the chopping block next. For this piece, I use the dry ink brush for my line art and the classic ballpoint pen for my base fills, both from the standard pens pack. But we can kick it up a notch. Pick a shape you've colored, turn off its visibility for a sec, and select it. This gives you a clean selection. Now make a new layer. This is where the magic happens. Smash it with some real vintage brushes. ColorLab, Duplatone, Risograph, whatever floats your boat. Today I'm rolling with Rezo, because if you want something to look accidentally cool and intentionally imperfect, nothing beats it. Repeat this process for each of the elements of your piece and you'll practically be able to smell that musty old ink fume. Yum. Step 4. Offset your colors. This one's a personal favorite because it's stupid easy and instantly effective. Back in the day, old comic presses didn't always line up their colors right. Metal plates would slip, paper would shift, the cheap ink would smear, and boom, accidental misalignment. So how do we fake that vibe? Select each of your color layers, one at a time, and give them a teeny nudge, and I mean teeny. Make sure you don't have snapping on because it'll just make things complicated. Tap the arrow tool and scooch the layer by a pixel or two in different directions. Don't get cocky. If your art starts to look like one of those old 3D movies that need red and blue glasses, you went too far. The authenticity is in the subtlety. You guys can see that just by adding a paper texture, using vintage coloring, and offsetting my colors, the piece is already looking way more authentic and a lot nicer.
Nice.
Step 5. Ink bleed. I hope you nerds brought your glasses because we're about to get blurry by adding some ink bleed. Ink bleed is that beautiful soft fuzz you see in vintage prints where cheap ink soaks into cheap pulp. It's what makes old comics look warm and alive instead of clean and sterile. So first, duplicate your ink and color layers. Always keep a backup because trust me, future you will be so grateful if you mess it up and want to go back. I like to hit up my line art first with this trick, so I'll turn my color layers off for now. Now with your working ink layer, hop into adjustments and hit it with a Gaussian blur. Start low. 1 to 3% is usually my sweet spot. You want that edge just soft enough that it looks like it's soaked into the page, but not so soft that it looks like your 4th grade watercolor project. Rinse and repeat for all your color layers. Zoom in, zoom out, squint. If it looks good both ways, you nailed it. Step 6. Subtractive effects. Alright guys, it's time to ruin your beautiful work on purpose, but with some taste. Subtractive effects are all about taking bits away, like ink fade, scratches, random specks missing because the printer was having a bigger meltdown than a toddler in Toys R Us. Here's how to not be a bonehead and do things the smart way. Never erase your base layers. Use layer masks. Always. Put a layer mask on your ink or your colors, and then grab a good print defect brush. RetroSupply has a ton of great ones. I love the ones that come in the ColorLab pack, especially for my inks. For my colors, I'll be using a few that you get bundled in the Risograph pack. Set your brush to pure black. Black on a layer mask destroys things. White restores things. Pretty simple. Just like ink bleed, I like to take away ink from my line art first, so I'll turn off those colors again. I also like to subtly turn down my line art's opacity at this step, just to make it look a little more faded. Big solid color blocks hold up better, so focus your wear and tear on edges, corners, and small detail spots. That's where real prints flake out first. And here's a pro tip. I usually go for a couple of different defect brushes and use them at different sizes. This keeps it looking nice and organic. Tilt your brush angle, rotate your canvas, and don't stamp the same pattern over and over like a maniac. You want things to feel natural, not cookie cutter. Step 7. Additive effects. Subtractive takes away, so any guesses what additive does? It throws more junk on top. Overspray, ink splatters, accidental smears. That random messiness is what makes vintage art so tasty.
Yeah, boy.
I think by now you can sense the pattern that I always degrade my line art first. This is because black ink is usually the darkest pigment on the page, and the levels of defect on it kind of set the pace for the colors. So I'm going to turn my colors off and start with my border. The edge and fold pack is perfect for this step. Grab one of the edge brushes, change your color to black, and on a new layer, gently dab borders where ink would realistically smudge or overspray. Keep the opacity low and go over it with another layer mask. This is to make sure that your additive effects match up with the rest of your inks. Add a couple of random splats in the corner, maybe overlap some edges. Remember, imperfection is king. Step 8. Wear and tear. This is where you age the whole piece like it's been kicked around a garage floor for 2 decades. Scuffs, scratches, fold lines, they tell a story. Grab your edge and fold brushes again. They're literal gold for this. Set your brush to pure white and change the layer's blending mode to screen or overlay. Now, just apply the paper cracks, scuffs, and noise to the entirety of your piece. And if you want a fold line, grab one of the fold brushes from the edge and fold pack. Set your brush to white, paint it in, duplicate the layer, alpha lock it, fill it with pure black, and then nudge that black layer slightly down and switch it to overlay. Boom. Instant fold shadow. It's stupid easy, but it looks super realistic. And remember guys, keep adjusting your opacity until things look natural. Subtle beats sledgehammer every time. Step 9. Ink modeling. Ever seen old comics where the ink looks kinda splotchy? That isn't because a goblin sneezed on the page. That's ink modeling. Back then, it happened because cheap pulp paper sucked ink unevenly. You can fake it digitally in under a minute. Make a new layer above your color layers. Pick a good gritty paper brush, set your color to black, and make broad, uneven sweeps over your whole color areas. Switch the blending mode to overlay and pull that opacity down until it's subtle but noticeable. Step 10. Adjust your effects. Last step, but this one can literally save your art. Step back. Literally. Stand up, go touch some grass, and come back with fresh eyes. Squint at your piece. Do your textures make it look authentically vintage? Or does it just look like you downloaded your first RetroSupply pack and went a little wild? I'm guilty of this all the time, guys. Tweak your opacities, adjust blending modes, erase some damage that's overcooked. Remember, vintage is subtle grime, not total apocalypse. By now, I know you want to see this whole chaos come together in real time. But before we hit play on the time lapse, here's your weekly guilt trip. If you're digging these tutorials, smash that subscribe button, tap like, and drop a comment below. Seriously guys, it's the only leverage I have to convince the RetroSupply overlords to keep me ranting about print defects every week. And hey, if you want to grab the exact brushes and textures that I use today, or just hoard enough vintage goodness to last a lifetime, hit up RetroSupply.co. Alright, enough yapping, let's roll the time lapse. And that is how you take your shiny, perfect digital art and absolutely ruin it, but in a good way. If you picked even one tip up today, slap that like button like you're Will Smith at the Oscars. Drop some comments and hit subscribe so you don't miss my next creative bad decision. And don't forget to check out RetroSupply.co to grab the same brushes and textures that I use today. Now get out there and make your perfect lines perfectly imperfect. Say that 3 times fast. Happy creating.